No, my biggest threat is the Fed, because the Fed is raising rates too fast, and it's independent, so I don't speak to him, but I'm not happy with what he's doing because it's going too fast, because you looked at the last inflation numbers, they're very low.
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. So long as that is in place and there is no evidence that the administration or the Congress or anybody else is requesting that we do things other than what we think is the appropriate thing, then what the relationships are don't frankly matter.
There is stagflation ahead of us. And unless human nature is changed or does huge tricks on us, this necessarily implies that real interest rates go up because this is the tightest market, labor market I've ever seen.
The live conference is still ongoing, but we found the video and are getting it ready to take it on air here very, very soon. Vladimir Putin, 25 minutes ago or so, after nuclear holocaust, we'll go to heaven as martyrs. Attackers will die as sinners. Very, very strong language from Putin. And you plug this into what's happening geopolitically, economically, what the globalists are trying to do, trying to kill any peace deals that Trump wanted to have. It's a very, very serious time to be alive on this planet. Meanwhile, U.S. is seeing relentless rise in household wealth, Credit Suisse says. But that doesn't matter. Here's the L.A. Times. As Trump slams the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve, its policymakers are turning and tuning him out and moving ahead with rate hikes. So we've had 7 rate hikes. Now they're looking at maybe 4 or 5 more to suppress the economy, because it isn't Trump who's the president. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's ex-Fed Chief Greenspan. He says this is the tightest labor market I've ever seen, CNBC. He says the economy's roaring and we need to raise interest rates. So they had 0 interest rates for Obama, but only gave the free money to themselves, subsidiaries of the private Federal Reserve, and had very tight credit since 2009 on the general public in America. China was given unlimited credit. India was given unlimited credit because the big brain bugs, the big super caste elites, they had decided that America was to be a service economy so that we could be managed like a dog and brought to heel. And in rides Trump, trying to turn that around. And as Trump said just a day ago, the biggest threat to the recovery and the biggest threat to America is the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve that is openly trying to spike the economy. Because Trump went in with cutting regulations and some basic tax cuts to working people and some corporate taxes to get a few factories to move back. China's at 0. We're at 15 now. We were at 40. They dropped from 15 to 0 to counter us. Just a few ball and chains. We have like 50 tied to our legs, but Trump's getting, 6 or 7 of them off. He's trying to cut the others off with a blowtorch, but the Federal Reserve's walking up with more balls and chains as fast as Trump can cut them off. Unbelievable that we put up with this type of garbage for the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve. I played yesterday. We should play it again today. Alan Greenspan, 11 years ago, on the Lair News Hour, saying we are our own branch of government and no one can regulate us and we are above the law. In fact, let's just play it again. Here it is.
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. So long as that is in place and there is no evidence that the administration or the Congress or anybody else is requesting that we do things other than what we think is the appropriate thing, then what the relationships are don't frankly matter.
So you've got the states and you've got the federal government. And you've got the legislative, executive, and judicial in the states and the federal government. And it's called the federal system. Doesn't mean it's all federally run. The Federalists, there were the Anti-Federalists, you can research them, different perspectives on this, but the Federalists said that power was shared equally by the feds and the states for a balance. And then the three branches within each also shared power. But you didn't know there was a fourth branch. At least you're not supposed to know that because it's not supposed to be one, of the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve set up by J.P. Morgan and others in 1913 at Jekyll Island, snuck through on December 23rd, 1913 by 3 senators who passed it and put it into place to give private offshore banks control over our economy. And here we are 104 years later. And they're arrogantly sitting up on national television saying we are independent, no one can control us, no one can do anything. We decide. There's like this upper ceiling, like Mount Olympus. You go through the cloud cover and there it is where the gods live. You can't go there. There's a big chasm between us and them. But there they are. Just like the breakaway criminal groups in the Justice Department and the breakaway criminal groups in the CIA under the National Security Act 1947. Just doing whatever they want, however they want, and selling America out to the world. Because the globalists, which are the children and the political bastard children of the robber barons and the British Empire, the authoritarian corporatist, the crony capitalist, they want the American system dead and gone. And that's why when we come back, I'm going to play a Tucker Carlson piece that is extremely powerful, where he makes the point and documents it that the Democrats hate America and hate the people of America and have organized large swaths of people to work in tandem with the multinational corporate powers, the unelected EU, and the unelected mass murdering kingpins of the Chi-Com nightmare oligarchy. That's the real world. We're going to play Tucker Carlson, then we're going to play the most vicious leftist attacks on widows of 9/11, people pulling yard signs up, breaking into Linda Blair demonic gibber, all of it. But we're going to go to break, and then we have the full clip coming up of Vladimir Putin warning of thermonuclear Armageddon. Here it is.
Only if we identify through that system that missiles are being launched at us, only that will we deliver a retaliatory strike, a strike in response. Only when there are missiles airborne being launched at Russia. Of course, that would lead to a global disaster, to a nuclear catastrophe. But Russia cannot become its instigator or initiator because we don't have a preventive strike in our as part of our military doctrine. Of course, once someone has launched nuclear missiles at us, it would be maybe too late to stop them, but a potential aggressor should know that there will be retaliation, and we will get to heaven as martyrs, and our enemies will simply die as dogs, because they won't even have time to redeem themselves.
Will we destroy ourselves? Because if you look at this whole situation with Saudi Arabia and the Washington Post reporter and all the rest of it, you see there's different factions in our government that don't want Iran to be brought to its knees, the mullahs, who are working to derail Saudi Arabia. Does that mean I like Saudi Arabia? Does that mean they're perfect? No, but huge bombings, murders, torture, death, women being executed by Saudi Arabia, the left doesn't ever talk about it or care. But as soon as it can make Trump look bad, well, then, my gosh, we need to basically have a war with Saudi Arabia. So you can see how there's different globalist forces playing nation states off against each other. And there's more of this Putin information coming up as well. Full video will be uploaded and posted to Infowars.com. It is extremely important. At the bottom of the hour, I'll get into the real nuclear threat and why. Even top experts agree the doomsday clock's closer to midnight than it's ever been. That's at the bottom of the hour. But first, why does the left hate America so much? Because they were born, raised, and bred and trained on the universities that they're the ruling class and they will take down America. They are the cancer introduced to the body politique. And they mean business. And they are filled with the same of a hate that other authoritarian henchmen on the streets have always been filled with. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, NewsWars.com. Only you can cut through the censors and share those links.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
You're a white man! You're a white man!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Guaranteeing your food independence is a crucial part of prepping. Between debt crisis, natural disasters, or even simple power outages, having a supply of storable meals is crucial. With InfoWars Life Select storable food, you can make sure you and your family are ready for any emergency. With drinks, snacks, and meals in amounts ranging from 72 hours to a full year, there's no better place to look for healthy, easy, and incredible meals. Including meals such as Traveler Stew, Homestyle Potato Soup, and a variety of other meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, InfoWars Life Select storable food will help you eat comfortably in a time of need. They even work great for camping. Simply pack a 72-hour kit to go and you have easy-to-cook and transport food for you and your loved one's trip. Don't be caught surprised by an emergency. Make sure you're stocked up today with all the food you need for an affordable price with InfoWars Life Select storable foods.